for True Health Forever podcast, where we empower your physical, social, spiritual, and economic health. Consume this content every week with positive energy and good intentions. Join me, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and my starlit queen, Sinclair, the health nerd, and share this with those you love. You are strong, you are beautiful, and you are ready to live your best life. Man, you ever smell like hard work?
Yes, you do right now, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm working hard, Queen.
Yes.
Listen, what is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we shall live our best life through the lens of body odor. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and as usual, I have the painter rapper, the smiling, the beautiful starlit queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the health nerd, and here on what day is it? Sunday early evening. Tired, exhausted.
So, listen. If you're watching on the podcast on YouTube, you see the background is different. You see it's just a plain white wall now. If you're listening, you probably hear it's sounding a little bit different. So we are currently in the middle of moving. As we said last week or the last 2 weeks, the queen has broken off her shackles and is now a full-time entrepreneur. We are moving out to the IE, and we still wanted to make sure we came through and did a podcast, right? And I feel like there's something about moving that makes you regret a lot of decisions.
We really need to move.
Right. It makes you regret a lot of decisions that you've either made or that you didn't make that you now have to make right now. So that's the theme of kind of today's episode is decision fatigue. All right. Procrastination and... and we're going to talk a little bit about objectives and key results, but really is focusing on decision fatigue, how you get tired the more decisions that you make, and maybe how you can fight that, and then why people procrastinate. Queen, are you ready?
Are you ready for some podcast?
All right, we're out. Yeah. Okay, so let's hop right into it because to be honest with y'all, we got more boxes to pack. So
more paintings to wrap.
Queen, goodness, you're not done with the paintings yet?
Sir.
Goodness gracious. All right.
I'm trying to handle them with care because I know how much they mean to us, especially you.
Thanks, Queen. Appreciate you. Your hands are very hot. Let's get focused. Why do you procrastinate? Right? And if you're listening or watching, think about this question as well for yourself. What are the reasons why you procrastinate? Like legitimate reasons why you procrastinate. Queen, you got one?
I feel like it depends on the situation or the task.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like some of them, it's like I straight up don't want to do this. So you wait until the very last minute to do it just because it's like, I don't want to do it right now, but I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get to a point where it's like either I'm just not going to do this or I have to do it now.
So you don't want to do it because it's hard. You don't want to do it. Like, why don't you want to do it?
That's why I said it may depend. It may just be something that I don't enjoy doing, like something I'm not good at, something, it's hard. Something that just takes more effort than I want to give at that moment.
Mm-hmm. So, and we'll get into, I don't want to jump the gun here. For me, it's kind of the same thing. It's either one, just general laziness. Like I'm not feeling it. I just don't want to do it right now, right? Or I was watching some TED Talk and it was going through the psychology of overachievers, and I would consider myself an overachiever. I would consider you an overachiever. If you're listening to the TH4 podcast, you're probably an overachiever too, right? As overachievers, we want to do the task to the highest caliber possible. And we procrastinate because we fear that we're not going to do it to that 110, 120%. So we're like, I'll just put it off. I'm afraid I might not be perfect. I'll just put it off until, like the Queen said, we're at a tipping point to where, are we more afraid of getting a 0 or are we more afraid of doing the best that we can at this moment right now? Right? Like if it's a paper, if it's a grade, if we don't turn the paper in at all, we'll get a 0. If we stay up all night and we write some paper, we'll get some grades. Sometimes we end up getting B's, sometimes we end up getting A's. And it's like, oh, great, I did that, right? My question for you, does the task get easier the longer you wait to do it?
No.
Do you know that for a fact?
So the task doesn't change. What changes is your perception of the task. So I think and how much time you have to do it, and like the effort, I think. Because I think the longer you wait, then it's just like, again, you have the pressure, right? That pressure that gets put onto you at that last minute. And when you wait till the last minute, it's like, well, yeah, now I have to do it to not get a 0 or not completely fail to do it at all. So I feel like you have a little bit of that added pressure where it's like, no matter what I do, it almost solves that perfectionism thing, because it's like, no matter what I do, it'll be better than 0. So I feel like having that mindset, if you would have had that mindset at the beginning, you probably would have had a better outcome, because you would have done the best you can and had time to go back and make it better.
Right. So I want to stick with that mindset, because I think you're a perfectionist and I'm I don't know if perfectionist is the right word. I'm a greatest, right? Sure. It doesn't need to be great. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I do want it to be great. How would you coach yourself through that process, right? You have 6 months to do a task, whether it's build the best course ever, whether it's write a book, whether it's produce an amazing podcast, like whatever the task is. How do you coach yourself to start on week 5 instead of or month 5 instead of 2 weeks out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I am a fan of planning, so I think it would be good to not spend 4 weeks planning it, but at least have some sort of general outline of like, okay, if I get it this week, if I get halfway done by this week, then I'll have enough time to come back and revise. For example, I get an essay or paper or something like that, I'll have time to come back, edit, revise, make corrections. So I think having just a rough outline, and that's say rough because I get into the pitfalls of like, finish this paragraph on this day, and then it's like, when that messes up, it's like, it's terrible to plan. So having a rough outline of what to plan, of what the schedule should be. But then, yeah, basically reminding myself of what I just said is that if you wait and don't get it done, then it's a 0. So no matter what you do, it will be better than a 0. So focus more on how much higher than a 0 can I get than like how much lower than 100 will I get, if that makes sense.
It doesn't to me.
Okay.
Because I'm not even going to try to go through this logic, because we are currently suffering from decision fatigue. So you may have made 100% perfect sense, to be honest with you. What you said could have been very logical. The way my brain is set up right now, I didn't understand it.
Let me say it in a different way. Think about like, so in my mind, like when I'm writing or when I'm doing something, I'm almost thinking of like a teacher grading it, right? And they usually grade it with like taking points off. So I feel like that's what I.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. That's the mindset that I feel like I typically have of like, ooh, okay, yeah, they would take points off for that. Okay, yeah, and then they probably take points off for this. Okay, and then well, let me figure out how to get it perfect so they don't take points off. Where it's like, it's really like, let me get points for this, right? So it's like, I'm gonna get some points for whatever I'm writing. Right, I'm gonna get some partial credit for whatever I'm writing. Just get something on the page, and then you can revise it later to make it closer to 100. Does that make a little more sense?
That does make sense. So you're kind of gamifying the essay, but you can do that with the task. So if completing the task, like you're saying, is 100, then you break up that large task into maybe 10 goals that are each worth 10 points each, right? So now it's like, yeah, I like that. I think that's probably what we were going to talk about a little bit later, kind of in objectives and key results. But I like that breaking down. Let us know in the comments, one, why do you procrastinate? And let's be truthful, because I think there's maybe some specific reasons for you. For us, it could be because we're afraid of failure. It could be because for us, we are afraid of it not being perfect. So we just wait and push it off. For you, it could be a completely different reason. So go ahead and put that in the comments. And then any tips and tricks you've been able to learn along the way. Now I want to ask a random question. Why is it that you have $5,000 worth of hair still in the closet?
That's very random. I told you it was when I used to get my hair braided all the time. So I just would accumulate hair, so I didn't have to keep going to the hair store and buying like 4 packs at a time. Because that was when I used to get like the really long ones. Those take hella hair. So it was like I just accumulated.
I feel like you brought that from PH.
Yes.
Can we get rid of that?
No, I just said I'm going to use it when I get my hair braided for Ghana.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, but that ties in because, again, we're moving currently right now. Jair was going on middle of the process, right? And I felt like there were so many items that I've said I'm going to get rid of that I haven't gotten rid of, that the queen was like, oh, you should throw that away. Oh, I can't believe you still have that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it.
Please don't tell me we brought the PlayStations.
So I did bring the PlayStations. Oh my gosh. The reason for that is because I was having a great conversation with the owner Power. And he was like, oh, don't give those away. Those will be worth money someday. And I was like, that's exactly what I said.
Oh, no.
But he helped you because half of the desk I was also going to keep. And he was like, oh, you got to get rid of that desk, man. That's terrible. I was like, all right, fine. So I got rid of half that desk.
It was anything with the chair, huh?
He did say something about the chair. I don't know if y'all remember episode.
It's atrocious.
This is like episode 60 something. The queen was like, get a new chair. And I said, I think when we sell out of masterpiece editions, I'll get a new chair. We haven't sold out. So if y'all want me to get a new chair, go to playblackwallstreet.com, get yourself a masterpiece edition.
Now.
And, eventually when those sell out, I'll go ahead and get a chair.
This chair it's like a faux leather chair, pleather. And it has no leather on it anymore in the front. It's literally, it's all gone.
Coating's gone. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. Eventually I'll earn a new chair and it will be that much more.
You don't have to earn a chair.
It'll be that much more.
It's a basic.
Long story short, we had a lot of decisions that we had to make as far as what's furniture that we're going to give away, what's furniture we're going to keep, what's furniture we're going to throw away. A lot of decision fatigue going on. So think about in your life, literally, like as you're moving from phase to phase, right? I was trying to make a point before the queen started to hop on in here. As you're moving from phase to phase, you're probably going up your mountain, maybe you're going down some valleys. What are some things that you should have gave away? Some things that you maybe should have sold, that you should have donated, that you're still holding on as you're going to the next phase. This could be people. This could be habits. This could be literal objects. This could be mindset shifts, right? What are those things that you're holding on to that you're procrastinating on making that decision on what to actually do with those things, right? Queen, as you're elevating to your next amazing phase of your life, what are things that you feel like you've held on to physically, emotionally, spiritually, economically, all that beautiful stuff? What are some things that you've held on to that as you move into 2022 and into being an amazing, successful entrepreneur, that you're going to be like, get off me. I'm leaving that there. I'm donating that. Boom, bow.
Aside from my job, that was a big old
yes. All that.
I think the fear, I don't know if I want to say fear of failure, but like the perfectionism. I want to leave that behind. Because I think even as a coach, it's something that I'm trying to instill in my clients and myself, but I feel like it's even more pressure. I feel like if I'm asking my clients to do it, I don't want to be a hypocrite, asking someone to do it and then not doing it myself. So I feel like specifically when it comes to like exercise, that's been one of my biggest thing with everybody is like, don't focus on like, if I can't do my full workout, I'm not going to do it at all. Like, and I feel like that's kind of the mindset I typically have. Like, if I can't do it perfectly, if I can't do it my absolute best, then why do it at all? And that's, I think, a dangerous mindset because life happens all the time. And there's just so many things that keep you from being, you know, doing in your mind what is whatever perfection is. Like, there's always going to be something that keeps you there, whether you're tired or maybe you're a little under the weather or whatever it is, your internet's a little shaky. Like, it can be something internal, it can be external, whatever it is, there's always going to be something that is probably going to make you feel like it's not perfect. Your workout, your task, your whatever it is, your relationship. So, but I think something is always better than nothing. So yeah, I was listening to Model Health Show the other day, and I like the way this guy put it. I don't remember which guest he had on, but he said, get rid of the all or nothing mindset and stick to always something. Yeah. And I like that. Always something. I like that motto. So yeah, I'm going to adopt that mindset rather than the all or nothing and being perfect and don't do it unless you can do it, absolutely perfect. It's just do something. Right. Something is better than nothing.
Facts. Love it. What am I going to do? I feel like I want to get better at, and I think my mindset is shifting this way, but getting more organized and planned out with the things that I'm trying to do. And sticking to the plan all the way through what completion was defined as, right? So if I make a plan, I say I want to write this book, I want to release on this date, I want to teach this many courses, and completion is X. Then it's like, stick with this plan and finish it all the way through until you hit X. And then you can reevaluate, see if you want to keep growing this idea, or do you want to drop this idea and go in a different pathway, but at least finish it all the way through. I think I have a lot of things that I have started, but haven't completed, right? And they're in my head, good ideas that haven't been completed yet. And then, getting better at using and delegating tasks to the entire team and not doing everything myself, but being sure that, okay, Sinclair can do this, Jair can do this, Rogel can do this, Harry can do this, I can ask Markel for help for this, my dad can go da. Like, literally spread out that love for people who are willing to pitch in for the vision. I did have it's not a quote per se, because I don't know where I got it from. I don't know if it's from my consciousness or if it's a collection of other people's consciousness. But the general concept is inaction can cause the same impact or the same negative impact as action, right? So you making the decision to not do anything could have the same negative impact, right? As in the gravity or the gratitude, not gratitude. What's that word? Magnitude. Okay. Thank you, Queen. You sent it to me in your telekinesis. The magnitude, right, can go positive or go negative, both ways, right? So inaction can have the same impact than having the action in general, right? So perfect example, you saying working out. You making the decision to work out every day will give you a positive magnitude towards your health, right? You'll start to possibly lose weight, your blood pressure will go down, maybe your stress levels will go down, you'll start feeling happier. That's a positive impact on your life. You made the decision to act. You making the decision to not act will have possibly the same impact, but in the negative direction. Now you're gaining weight. Now your stress levels are going up because you're gaining the weight. Now you're not so happy. Now you're eating into your emotions and possibly doing other stuff that's causing you to go backwards, right? So sometimes I think we think, oh, if I don't act, right? If I don't make a decision, then nothing will happen. But sometimes not making the decision forces you to go the opposite direction that you really wanted to go, right? Am I starting to make sense now?
Yes. There's another quote that I'm blanking on.
But I think the more you do this, I think the better your head thinks. If you just
opening my mind.
Yeah.
basically like there is no neutral.
Right. You're always
you're either improving or you're getting worse.
Mhm.
There's no like, so I feel like to your point, sometimes we think like, oh, I'm not actively working on this, so I'll just stay the same, but it doesn't happen that way. It's like you actually degrade
degrade.
a little bit by choosing not to, act on those things.
So let's nerd out, right? So I forgot what it's called, but like different cells and chemicals have what's it called? No, they're decay.
Oh, they're like half-life?
Their half-life. Thank you, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So in case you didn't take organic chemistry or chemistry in college, right? Each chemical has a different half-life, which means as it's exposed to the open air or something, those chemicals will decrease by half every second, millisecond, whatever the time is, right? So if you have 1 million molecules of carbon, after a year, there'll be 500,000. After XYZ, it'll keep going down half until there's no more left. Is that the general gist of it, half-life?
Yeah.
Cool. So think of the skills or even your health. It has a half-life, right? I used to be fluent in Spanish. And it's not that I told myself every day, forget 2 words, right? It's not that every day I was actively trying to forget. Right. I wasn't actively trying to forget Spanish, but as I stopped using it, the half-life of my Spanish was just losing words every single day because I wasn't taking action. Right. Same thing with my jumping ability. I used to be able to dunk, believe it or not. Like I'm 5, found out I'm 5'10", apparently. Thank you, Nurse Cheryl. You know what I'm saying? I'm 5'10". Y'all better put some respect on my name.
You're so tall, babe.
That's right. Welcome to True Health Forever podcast, where we are tall. But long story short, I used to be able to dunk in sophomore year, right? Great jumping abilities. I did plyometrics all the time. I was playing volleyball, all that good stuff. Yes, I broke my leg, so that probably is why I'm not dunking for sure. But in addition to that, I stopped doing the workouts, right? So I think if I went back to doing the plyometric workouts, I can probably get to dunking again. That may be a challenge for me for 2022. We'll see.
Flexibility, bruh.
Flexibility is a great one for you.
Yeah. It's not there anymore. I promise you, it's not. I used to be, and I was never one of the dancers that was like super bendy or whatever, but I used to have some good flexibility. And my middle split all the way. It just after some warming up, of course. But now I could probably still do that after like an hour of constant stretching, but it used to be like 10 minutes, a little bam. Yeah, that flexibility's gone. My hamstrings, I did downward dog the other day.
Did you know?
Barely. Like I struggle touching my toes. I promise you. Like you have to keep the muscles warm. Like everything is a muscle. Yeah. Everything is a muscle. So your habits, your relationships, everything is a muscle. A muscle does not just stay the same if you don't use it. Use it or lose it. That is the motto.
Facts. Yeah. Well done. Okay, so let's move on to how to fight procrastination, right? These are going to be a few things that y'all can try in your life. If you have tools that have worked for you, for sure, put those in the comments, share them with us. We definitely want to know because we're all that good stuff. All right, so number 1 is going to be find yourself an accountability partner or an accountability group, right? It's beautiful having someone inside your household. If you have a friend, if you have a parent, if you have an accountability group that you can call into, all that good stuff can help you not procrastinate, because not only do you not want to fail yourself, now you don't want to fail these other people, right? You said, oh, Queen, I'll do this. And then you don't do it. Now it's awkward when you talk to her or talk to whoever your accountability partner is. So go ahead and make sure you find yourself an accountability partner. Number
2, focus on the task instead of the end result.
Yes.
And that is really good. I like that one. That's another thing that I'm trying to focus on is focus on the process, right? The task itself, not what you expect to get out of it. Because if you focus on that, your focus is in the wrong place. If you focus on the task, the process of just getting it done, the results will take care of itself. You don't need to focus on that part. That will take care of it itself as long as you focus on the task. Right. So just to put it in perspective, if you're like, I don't get it, for weight loss, right? You don't need to focus on stepping on the scale every 2 hours, right? That's the result. That's it. It's not going to change just by you getting on the scale.
You don't need to focus on, I want to lose 40 pounds.
Right. You don't need to focus on that. What you need to focus on is, let me exercise, let me eat right, let me get my sleep. Those are the things that are going to get the results. So focus on doing that every day. The results will come.
Facts.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, perfect example is we started focusing on what we were eating, and then I told myself I was going to do 100 push-ups a day, 50 curls a day, and go on a walk. And with that, I've lost 23 pounds, right? So perfect example. You about to say something?
I was just going to say, like, think about if you were to only focus on the result, right? I'm not doing anything else. I'm just focusing on the result. Are you actually going to lose any weight? No, right? If you just stepped on the scale every day, the numbers are not going to move unless you're actively doing something. But if you were like, you know what, you threw out the scale and you still got up every day, you went on your walk, you ate well, you're still going to lose weight, right? The result's happening even if you're not measuring it or focusing on it. So that's why it's important to focus on the task rather than the result.
It's a great point. Say it one more time, one sentence, what you summarized in that. That was a great point. It can be multiple sentences, but succinct.
If you focus on the result itself, nothing will come of that. But if you focus on the task and forget about the result will still come.
Boom. Thank you. And then last but not least, you can ask this question to yourself, right? As you're thinking about doing the task or not doing the task, will this get harder or easier if I wait? All right. So if you're like, oh man, I really don't want to write this book right now. I know I need to write 100 pages. Will writing that 100 pages in the 6 months, or will doing 100 push-ups every single day for 3 months, will it get easier or harder if you wait to accomplish it? There may be some things that get easier. I cannot think of any off the top of my head, to be honest with you, but there could be some stuff legitimately that maybe you wait until nighttime and it'll get easier. Maybe you'll wait until Monday morning when the post office is actually open and it'll be easier. But I feel like for the most part, the answer is going to be doing it right now is going to be the best thing for my long-term future, right?
And if you're one of the people who are kind of resonating with what I said earlier in terms of like, you need that added pressure to really perform, just move the deadline up. Don't wait to do the action, move the deadline up. So if it's due in 2 months, tell yourself you got to do it in 1. So you have that artificial pressure helping you write it or do whatever the task is, but you're still not jeopardizing you being able to finish it on time.
Yeah. I've literally done that before in my calendar. I'll be like, oh, something starts 30 minutes early, or there's something that's due a week early, and I'll feel all the pressure. I'll get it done a week early, but then I'll actually click into the full calendar and description. And I'm like, oh, I'll put a note to myself. This is actually due.
Right. I do that too.
Well done, Devon. Well played. Right?
Do that with like reminders. If I know I need to do something by the 30th, I'll put in like exclamation points on like the 25th. So that way, even if I'm like on the 26th, I'll be like, oh my God, I forgot. And I'll go in like, I planned for this.
Don't do that. Like, don't miss your artificial deadlines on accident, because you never know. All right. So we're moving on to the last section here. We'll go through some weekly updates, and then as I give my updates, I'll talk a little bit about OKRs, objectives, and key results. Queen.
Okay.
Queen.
Okay.
Listen, this could have easily been that episode, y'all. It almost was.
That's helps the decision fatigue.
Right.
I only have one thing to say.
Go back and forth. But really quickly, Queen, weekly updates for you. What's going on this week? What are you excited about? What are you nervous about? What's taking energy away? Just give it to the people real quick.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to be moved in officially. This has been a much longer process than we anticipated. The day.
Because we procrastinated.
Yes. So I'm excited for that, and then more than just the moving, but excited for what the move means. Like, it's really a tangible, we talked about this the other day. It's a very tangible step into like the next phase of our life. So I'm excited to enter that new phase. Yeah. And then this is also going to be Last week was technically my first week as a full-time entrepreneur, but it had the holiday in there, so it felt a little different. A lot of people are off last week, so but also, yeah, I think having the holiday, I can get the full week experience. So next week will be like my first full regular like work week, but for myself. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited for that.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Just because it'll be different. Like I've never done a full week. I've done a few days. It'll be the first week, like Monday through Friday. Like, let me make my schedule. Let me plan it out. And yes, a lot of it will still be moving and unpacking, but yeah, gotta mix in my goals, my OKRs, all the tasks that we gotta do. And then this week I will also do my last practical for FDN, Functional Diagnostic Nutrition.
Nice.
So I am just a couple weeks shy here of being certified. So
that's good.
I'm excited to be one step closer.
Yes. Congrats, Queen.
Thanks.
Congrats. For me, really quickly, what happened? Well, one, we finally deposited and cashed that large check that came in. Biggest check Play Black Wall Street has seen. Biggest check I think either of us have seen outside of real estate. So that was beautiful. The check that we should get from real estate coming anytime now. Hello, you know who we talking to. That should be even bigger. So it's beautiful to kind of see the momentum and kind of some of the fruit from these seeds be delicious and nutritious for our souls. It's also interesting. I was thinking about today. Every place that we've moved from, we have built wealth from, right? Like thinking of leaving college, right? And then we both went into our individual places. I think we both lived with our grandmas. We then both had more wealth leaving our grandma's house, moving in together. We then obviously got more wealth here because we purchased this property. And then now that we're leaving this property, renting this property out, have even more wealth going into grandma's again. Shout out to Grandy. And then when we leave Grandy's house, we're going to, if we're blessed, be able to invest in something else, so more wealth that way. So it's exciting to know our pattern, right? Our habits and our own kind of pattern on when we move places, we usually gain wealth. So knowing that has me more excited about this move and then the next move that we are planning after as well. So really quickly, I've been in a OKR hole, and I'm not going to go to too many details here. Maybe I can do a whole nother thing. I'll probably do a Play Black Wall Street workshop on OKRs. But what they stand for is objectives, key results. Objectives and key results. And the point of these OKRs is to exactly do what we're talking about. It's to fight decision fatigue and procrastination, which you should do as an individual, as a relationship group, or as a business. Go ahead and create your objectives and key results. Your objective is going to be like a big, kind of audacious long-term goal. One of ours is to become a authority within the holistic health and self-development space, right? True Health Forever, we talk about self-development all the time. We talk about holistic health all the time, but we are not yet a known authority in the space. So that's our objective for the year and probably for the next 5 years. We want to become an authority in the holistic health and self-development space. How do we get there? That's the objectives. Now, every quarter, we're going to have key results. They're going to be different every 3 months, right? So the first quarter key results could be to host 10 live podcasts. It can be to interview 4 people that are already authorities in the holistic health or self-development space. It could be to post 10 IG reels, right? Things that are measurable, tangible, and you can literally say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did that, right? You can literally go through all the podcasts and say, yes, we achieved that. And every action within these objectives or within these key results should be feeding into the overall goal or the overall objective. Okay. So this is the same mindset that Google uses. It's the same mindset a lot of big corporations use. It's either KPIs, key performance indicators, or OKRs, objectives and key results. So our whole team, Jair, we're about to be on some OKRs, right? We got some with your name on it, right? Harry, Rajat, we got some OKRs with your name on it. But this is kind of the growth, the maturity that TH4 is growing into next year. Something that I think is going to help me execute and perform, because again, I get shiny thing syndrome and I get really excited about different projects. But if I know these are the objectives, Devon, and these are the key results for the next 12 weeks, then I know if it doesn't fall within these guidelines, don't do it. Don't do it. And we do have a creative section within our objective that says that we want to foster a continuous culture of creativity within TH4. And that's going to give me the leeway every 12 weeks to have one possible creative project in there. But other than that, I'm trying to zoom in 100% in 2022. Okay. Queen, anything you want to add on OKRs?
I'm excited to act on them.
Indeed.
Got our big audacious goals, and then our bite-sized pieces. You know, like sometimes when you look at the objectives, it's like, oh, how are we going to do that? Right. That's what the key results are for. This is how we're going to do it.
Right. And when we achieve all the key results, which I think are very realistic, right? It's going to take some effort for sure. It's not going to be easy, but I think they're realistic. That's going to be a solid quarter, right? Just if you just focus on the actions, we'll see what results happen. But if we just focus on let's achieve every single key result that we have control over, I assume actions are going to just follow that automatically. So I'm excited to see what happens in this first quarter of 2022. But that's what we got for you, beautiful people. Okay, make those decisions. Please take action. Do not procrastinate. Find yourself an accountability partner, and let's have a beautiful end of the year. Let's finish strong, and let's keep that momentum going into 2022. Queen, anything you want to sprinkle on that?
Develop your OKRs now. Don't procrastinate on creating them, because you want to come into the new year with them, right? I think if you're creating them in the new year, you're already missing out on that good momentum that you could be building. So create them now so that you're ready to act on them come January 1st.
Sounds good. Next week, we will be in our new spot. It's probably not going to be done up like this one was yet, so we'll take some time. But we got some new microphones coming. We'll see if we can test those out next week. All right, but we appreciate y'all as usual for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.